Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Elisa Sladzinska, and I work for the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, BACP. Welcome to the BACP Business Education Workshop Webinar Series. We have adapted our regular business education workshops at City Hall into these webinars until further notice. On behalf of our Commissioner, Rosa Escarino, I want to inform you that business licenses can be processed online where applicable by visiting chicagobusinessdirect.org, and we'll go more in depth into business licensing today. If you are part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. If you want to learn about the program, please visit chicago.gov/business education. All websites and emails that I'm mentioning will be posted in the chat box, so you'll be able to reference them there as well. Also, BACP and the City of Chicago Office of Emergency Management and Communications created ShyBiz Emergency Alerts. You can opt in to receive targeted emergency alerts for the business community. If you are interested, please visit chicago.gov/ShyBiz Alerts. And to help guide your business and employees during Chicago's reopening process, including the most recent updates to the Phase 4 guidelines, please visit chicago.gov/reopening. And we encourage all attendees to ask questions. Please use the chat box and send your questions to all panelists. There will be a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. And today's webinar will be Business Licensing 101, presented by the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. It will be presented by BJ Parker, one of the SBC Small Business Center Senior Business Consultants. Welcome, BJ.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Elisa. And I want to welcome everyone on behalf of Mayor Lightfoot, Commissioner Rosa Escarino, and Deputy Commissioner Matt Alley of the Small Business Center. And really happy that all of you are here today. Okay, let's get started. Okay, next slide, please. Bear with us a minute. It seemed to be we're having a little technical difficulty.
BJ, are you able to see this presentation overview slide?
Nope.
Okay, 1 second. Do you see it now?
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about business licensing. And today we're going to look at business affairs and consumer protection and the Small Business Center in particular, because all of the business licenses go through our center. We're going to talk about the 3 steps to obtaining a business license, how to apply for a business license, the application requirements, including zoning and site inspections, and those common pitfalls, as well as I'll touch on public way use permit, as well as the permit intake center and the resources that we have available, and we'll go into Q&A. So, business affairs and consumer protection, what do? We license businesses and public vehicles. We provide public education and access to resources, as well as we enforce the municipal code and protect consumers from fraud. What do we do at SBC? Our job is business licensing and permitting division of BACP. We like to see ourselves as the one-stop shop for business and entrepreneurs. Business licenses, what do? New business license application, changes to any existing license information. We do case management. Business consultants are your single point of contact. And what we try to do is assist our business owners in navigating through all of the city processes and resources, as well as we have a public way use unit, and they are responsible for all of the public way use permit applications, as well as any changes that you may have. So, on-site at the Small Business Center, when hopefully we'll open again, we have zoning representatives, we have a health sanitarian, criminal history unit, convenience option, solution station, and of course our education workshops. Our zoning representatives, what do? Whenever you come into the Small Business Center, or now when you go to Chicago Business Direct and apply for your business license, most license types must go through a zoning review. And the zoning representative is there to assist you in any kind of variance, special use, or ZBA relief. We have a health sanitarian. That sanitarian is there to consult with those businesses who are interested in opening up restaurants, shared kitchen licenses, or mobile food trucks. So we have a plethora of people there to assist our business owners. As well as we have a criminal history unit. So some of our licenses require a background check. So we actually have a fingerprint unit at the center. And other convenience options are self-service kiosks. Now, some of these things, of course, will be modified because of COVID-19. And we have a solution station. We have a representative from SCORE that assists our business owners in creating and crafting new business plans, as well as, updating a current business plan. We have representatives from the Law Project who can speak to our business owners regarding commercial leases and how to form a legal entity for your type of business. As well as we have representatives from Axion Chicago, Women's Business Development Center, that will talk to our prospective business owners and current business owners regarding small business loans. And our education workshops. Just like this webinar, we have tons of really valuable workshops to assist our prospective and current business owners. Like this one, Business Licensing 101, or how to obtain a pop-up or host license. There are many workshops, and I just encourage everyone on the webinar today to really take advantage, because our team worked very diligently, worked very hard to just give you the tools to operate a successful business. One of the things that we like to promote in terms of business tips is, there are so many people, well, I don't have a business plan. Why do I need a business plan? Especially if you're thinking about any type of loan opportunities. So if you want to look at, I want to go to the bank and get a loan, especially now because a lot of banks are offering small business loans. So therefore, it would really serve you to have a good business plan. Your business plan doesn't have to be 100 pages, but it needs to give your prospective financier a glimpse of what it is you're trying to do, and it's like a roadmap. How are you going to get there? And also, attend one of our webinars, because we will actually have someone that will instruct you in how to craft your business plan. So please take advantage of all of the support that we offer. So let's talk about business licenses. If you are operating in the city of Chicago, you will require a City of Chicago business license. Now, there are some businesses that are exempt because they are licensed through the state, like our architects or our CPAs, our attorneys, our doctors. But most businesses will need a business license. And also, if you're in the trades, so if you are a general contractor, plumber, mason, electrician, you would go through the Department of Buildings for your trade licenses. As part of an initiative that was launched a few years ago, we now have a license. It was a license reduction initiative, because we found out that so many businesses they had more licenses than was needed. So now we've created a way to streamline and fine tune, so a business can, in fact, get the appropriate license to operate their business without having multiple licenses. So we've created a three-tiered sort of risk-based structure. So we have our limited business license. That's for those businesses, all of our retail businesses, office supply stores, shops, almost any clothing store, shoe store, all of those business, anyone operating a consulting business, you will need a limited business license. Our regulated business license, those cover all of those businesses who may have elected to work from their homes. And not every business can operate from a home. However, quite a few can operate from a home. Let's talk about that for a minute, because so often people will say, oh, I make great cookies or great pies, and I can make them in my kitchen. Unfortunately, we would be unable to license that activity, because you will need the health department to, in fact, inspect that facility, and the health department will not inspect you if you are operating the business from a home. However, there is an option for those people who may want to launch into a food service business, and that's our shared kitchen license. The other regulated business license will be those who are doing expediting services. So sometimes people do not have the time or the wherewithal to do a lot of the footwork, so we do license expediters. If you provide body art, that falls under our regulated business licenses. Home repair, not a general contractor, it's not a trade license, but it's those people who can provide a service to residences. So someone that can come in and install your flooring or do maybe a kitchen or something like that, any kind of home repair. Our board of workers, also, those businesses will need that regulated business license. And of course, we have more of our specialized licenses, like our food license, our tobacco, liquor, our children's services, our daycares, our massage establishment, public place of amusement. All of these licenses are more specialized. So that sort of spells out our three-tiered licensing structure. The other thing that we have that I'm pretty excited about is the emerging business permit. And it's an opportunity to facilitate new ideas and concepts. So that is really critical, especially during this time, because I am so sure there are people that are on the call today that may have a new idea that is not under our current licensing structure. However, we have the emerging business permit. So we encourage you to reach out to the department to see maybe you would fall under emerging business permit. And it allows you time to just really tweak your idea and evolve over time. And also it allows other city departments and our city council to work with you to determine, are there additional regulations that they need to create, or are there current regulations within our municipal code that could cover your new idea? So just come to us and say, hey, this is what I want to do, and we will try to walk through that with you. So let's talk about our license fee and terms. Our limited business licenses, our regulated business licenses are $250 for a 2-year term. So for instance, our licenses expire the 15th of each month. So if you come in, say, October 1st to apply for a license and you get approved, your license renewal period, say if it were October of 2020, would be October of 2022. And now our specialty business licenses, their terms vary. Most of them are 2-year, excluding our tobacco licenses, which are 1 year. The other thing I want to talk about prior to your deciding if you want to launch your business endeavor, make sure you do not have any city debt, any fines, because that will delay in your getting your business license. And also you can pay for your license by credit card, check, and prior, of course, you could have paid in person, but we are offering that option if you decide, oh, I really need to go in and pay. The city clerk's office is open, and you could, in fact, pay, but if you are applying online, you do have that option to just pay right there. So what do we call the 3 steps to obtaining a business license? First of all, determine how you want to operate your legal entity. That's where the law project can assist you if you are uncertain. So, of course, if you decide, and I want to really stress this, today you decide, you know what, I can operate as a sole proprietor. Okay, that's fine. And you apply as a sole proprietor. And then you decide in a month, you know what, I think I'm going to form an LLC or a corporation. Well, of course, that is your choice. However, you will need to start over again and pay the license fees all over again. So really think through how you want to operate the business. And this is where a good business plan can really assist you, because you can decide, oh, okay, well, maybe I do just want to operate as a sole proprietor for a few years just to see how it goes. Or you know what, I'm just going to, I know that this will probably work. I just want to go form an LLC now. And you register that entity with the appropriate agency. So for instance, if you decide you want to go as a sole proprietor, what I would encourage you to do is to go with the county and register your doing business, your assumed name, which we call doing business as. So my name is BJ Parker, and I'm going to operate a sole proprietor business, and I'm going to do business as BJ Shoes. So I would go to the Cook County and register that name so no one else can come along and use BJ Shoes. You do not have to, but we encourage that. The other option, I may decide, you know what, I think I'm just going to go and form a corporation. So it will be BJ Shoes Incorporated. However, I will need to obtain a federal employer identification number. That's through the IRS. I will also, because I'm selling a tangible product, I will need to secure an Illinois business tax number, an IBT. It's for the sales tax. So if you're selling anything, and this will also go for our sole proprietor businesses as well, if you're selling anything, if you're selling food, if you're selling widgets, if you're selling shoes, if you're selling cars, you will need an Illinois business tax number that you can secure from the Illinois Department of Revenue. And the same would apply for an LLC. You can register your LLC and your corporation and a general partnership with the Illinois Secretary of State. And you can do all of these things online. And then next, you would just go to Chicago Business Direct. After you have secured all that, you have decided, okay, this is how I want to operate the business, and go from there, go online and apply for your business license. This is what the other thing we will always need when you're applying for a business license. We need to know, of course, where the business is located, what floor you're on. The square footage is really critical. And the other thing, especially if you're operating really any business, but particularly a children's services business or a daycare center, we need to know the exact address. So if it's an extended address, that's fine. We need to know the exact address of that center. So make sure that you discuss it with your architect if you're building out your center, or the zoning representative. Make sure you understand, okay, I'm located at 1000 East Main Street, because there are, especially businesses that are located on corners, can be problematic. Are you on Main Street or are you on State Street? So make sure you know that, because that, again, can really stall the approval of the business license. So really make sure that you know that. So the square footage, what floor you're on. The other thing that we're going to ask of all businesses, we must have your personal information. And we protect it. We have all kind of firewalls and everything like that installed in our system. So I understand some people may be a little skittish about providing their personal information, but we must have it. So I've gone through some of these. So the sole proprietor, partnership. Now, a partnership, some people think, oh, okay, 2 people, but you can have 4 people in a partnership. And sometimes what happens in a case like that, you can actually go to the Illinois Secretary of State and register your partnership if that is what you are seeking to do. And I went over corporation, limited liability company. And let's talk a minute about our not-for-profit corporations. So often with a non-for-profit, they have boards. And with non-for-profits, they change their boards sometimes every year. So every single time you make a change, you will need to notify the department. And you may say, gee whiz, we just did this last year. I understand. But that's the case with the entity that you have decided to form, which is a non-for-profit. So if you change your leadership, then you, in fact, will need to file what we call a change of officers. And I stated to you earlier where you can register for your assumed names, the Cook County Clerk, the Illinois Secretary of State, for your partnerships and corporations and LLCs and non-for-profits, your Internal Revenue Service for your employer identification number. And why do you need that? You especially need that to file your federal taxes. And again, if you're going to sell anything, you will need to register with the Illinois Department of Revenue for the sales taxes. So let's talk about applying for the business license. Okay, right now, we're only doing the online application, which you can go to Chicago Business Direct, apply for a business license, and it's accessible 24/7. And if you need, and it's processed, however, during business hours, but if you need assistance, you can call our customer service number at 312-744-GO-BIZ, which is 312-744-6249. The other thing, even though right now we're not doing in-person scheduling, you can schedule a phone consultation with one of my colleagues, with myself or one of my colleagues, and you can do that through, again, the GoBiz number, or you can write an email to businesslicense@cityofchicago.org and request an appointment, a phone appointment with a business consultant. We'll be more than happy to assist you. So again, we look at what are the requirements. And so I've sort of gone over those. We definitely need the appropriate address. I cannot tell you how often we do not get the correct address. The other thing I neglected to mention, and I'm glad I see it here, if you are operating from your home, and there are quite a few services that you can provide from your home, we must see a copy of your government-issued photo ID with your home address. So please make sure that it's updated. And again, if applicable, the appropriate numbers, your corporation or LLC file number, your EIN number, or your sales tax number. The other thing that we may need in terms of a business license, some additional requirements, you will need to go through a fingerprint-based criminal background check on every owner, corporate officer, or manager with 5% or more in most of those businesses, as well as the on-site manager. So that's our daycare facilities, our children's services facilities, which is a little different from a daycare facility. A children's services facility are those companies that provide sort of play centers, or they're not a daycare center. They maybe provide special tutoring, or they're teaching children dance or something like that, as well as our liquor, tobacco retailers, our massage establishments. All of those will require a background check, our secondhand dealers. So there are a couple more, but basically those specialized licenses. And when we talk about the liquor establishments, they definitely need a bit more. So detailed site and floor plans, your corporate structure, corporate minutes, stock certificate. The other thing it says here, financial disclosures under liquor licenses. We also will need that information under our daycare centers, our children's services center, tobacco, massage, anything that it requires a fingerprint-based criminal background. We will also need to see, well, how is this endeavor funded? Where did the money come from? Who are the people that are involved in this endeavor? Maybe we just have people as money lenders. Maybe your Uncle Lou loaned you some money. Well, Uncle Lou will need to be fingerprinted as well. And of course, we need to see the lease and general liability insurance. What we really like to drive home and encourage, before you sign a lease, make sure that the location that you desire can be approved by zoning for the business activity in which you'd like to operate. You do not want to go sign a lease and then find out, oh, now I'll go get a business license, and you will be unable to obtain the business license because the business is not located in the appropriate zone. So you really, really want to, you just got to be very cautious about signing a lease. Here's the other thing. If a landlord will say, oh, this is zone, yeah, you can do this, check with us first. I cannot emphasize that enough because the landlord just wants the rent. But you need to make sure because, once you sign that lease, you in fact are, you got to pay the rent, whether you get the location or not approved. So at the time of your license application, all of our license applications are reviewed by our zoning team to determine if it's permitted there. That's why it's imperative that you do not sign a lease until you know, okay, if you decide, oh, I want to open up this restaurant or this beauty salon or, whatever business you may want, then you can tell the landlord, you know what, I'm going to check with the city. I'm going to make sure that I, in fact, can operate there, and then I'll come back. If that landlord said, well, no, I will not hold the place, then you know what, that place isn't for you. Because do not be pressured into signing a lease before you know. And you may think, well, wait a minute, I know. And I've had people to tell me, well, see, I know this place is good. And I said, okay. Then they come back, you know what, this place isn't good. I said, well, you were adamant that you had more information than I did. So I'm not going to fight with you about that. So I just want to encourage you to do that. And the other thing, because there are a lot of businesses that will require special use or they may require a zoning variance. So that's why it's real critical that you speak with us. So on-site inspections, all of us are, we encourage you to, of course, open a business, make sure you have everything that you need. And one of our units, our investigations unit, they're great. They will come out and inspect your location. Now, most of our on-site inspections happen after you've been approved by zoning and you have paid for the license. Now you're ready to be inspected by the location. There are a couple of instances, well, more than a couple license types that you can reach out and say, you know what, I really want to know if this is going to, if I can get inspected before I launch this endeavor. And this is especially applicable to our tobacco retailers because we offer a inspection for those retailers because if they have quite a few restrictions. So before you buy the business, and it may be a business now, and you may say, oh, it's already a retail tobacco store, daycare, whatever. We don't know how long they've had it. Did they make any changes? So when we ask you to see floor plans, site plans, leases, all of that, people go into a place and they decide to change it. So our investigations team will go out there and they will say, wait a minute, they changed this. This doesn't match the drawing that they submitted. And so I cannot tell you how critical it is to make sure you do your due diligence as part of being a business owner. And once you have been approved and you paid your fees, usually all inspections are, they have here the next 10 business days. That's usually about the time. Sometimes it can be as few as 5. Our inspecting departments are the Department of Buildings, and under the Department of Buildings umbrella, there is the plumbing department, the ventilation department, the electrical department, the special inspection program department. All of them fall under our Department of Buildings umbrella, and of course the fire department. And then under the Department of Public Health, especially for our daycare centers, there are two units. There's health surveillance and there is health. Health is the food piece, you know, making sure you've got proper refrigerators and stoves and all of that to conduct your child care center. And health surveillance, they look at other things. The managers, have they been fingerprinted? Are they certified? How does this child enter the center? They look at the outside setup and everything. Now, part of the license fee encompasses all of those inspections. So once you pay for your license fee, whatever license fee, then along with that is part of that are all of those inspections, which are included in the license fee. However, if those departments need to make multiple visits, then they will charge you to come out for second, third, fourth visits. So just be aware of that. So I talked about some common pitfalls. Signing a lease without considering zoning or especially liquor license restrictions, tobacco restrictions, and also the other thing that we see that can be a holdup, people will see a location. They'll go to the zoning map and they will say, I can open this business because the zoning map said this is a B zone or a C zone. And I can operate this business there. So they'll go and start construction without securing a building permit. That's a huge no-no because the zoning department will not approve you if you're doing construction on a location without a building permit. Also, you may think, and this is especially true with a lot of our beauty salons, maybe the salon that you're purchasing went through the special use process and that owner went before the Zoning Board of Appeals in order to secure permission to open a beauty salon there. So then you go along and say, I want to buy that business from him or her. And you think that you do not have to go through that process. Well, you will. So you need to make sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, because your goal is to open a business and become profitable. I mentioned before, make sure you pay any outstanding debt. The other thing that you will need to make sure that there are no building violations, because, it may be the right location for you and you don't know that maybe that building has numerous violations. And you can go to the City of Chicago's building department site and check to see if, in fact, a building has violations. And, the other thing you need to know, you cannot operate or open a business in Chicago without a business license. People try to do that. I'll get down there and open one, or I'll go online. No, you need to have in your hand your business license before you open the doors to start servicing your customers. And the other thing, if you decide, okay, I need to close this business, I'm moving out of town, make sure you close out everything. You go to the IRS, close that number out, the state, the Illinois Department of Revenue, make sure you file your final tax return, make sure that's all of the effort that you went into to launch and open the business, you have to make sure you close it properly, because you may decide, yeah, I'm closing it, oh, I'm tired, and you don't close out anything and fees will follow you. So make sure you do that. The other thing, public way use, they are also located within the small business center. So city streets, sidewalks, parkways are all the public way. So if you want to use the public way, you will need a permit. And so why do you need a permit? And now we have expanded and allowed some of those businesses to expand out into the street. But basically, it's to keep our public ways clear for safe and convenient travel by our pedestrians. So you do need a permit. So any kind of awning, canopy, bollard, sidewalk cafe, all of those require a public way use permit. So like I said, canopies, awnings, signs, banners, balconies, bollards, sidewalk cafes. Our permit intake center also, if you decide you want for your occupancy capacity sign and your fire safety permit, that now has been moved to room 900 of City Hall, but of course they're closed. However, they can answer questions regarding occupancy capacity signs. And we have numerous resources. Not only can you register your business as Chicago Business Direct and create a profile, so when you decide you're going to launch your business and get the license, we have Shy Biz Hub, financial assistance, business education options, and also there are numerous options within your neighborhood because we have delegate agencies throughout the city of Chicago, and their charge is to assist you. So make sure you take advantage of that, as well as hiring and training resources and more. So just go to chicago.gov/BACP. Again, call 312-744-GO-BIZ or 744-6249, and we can assist you if you're having some issues with your online application. If you want to schedule an appointment with one of the business consultants or the health sanitarian or assistance in resetting your PIN number or scheduling an appointment with a zoning reviewer, make sure you call our GO-BIZ number. And I had mentioned our neighborhood delegate agencies and Chamber of Commerce's. They are here to assist you. So reach out to them, the neighborhood business development centers, because that's what they're there for, to assist you not with connecting your business to financial resources, because they may have additional resources that we are not aware of. as well as workforce development training. And the other thing that I encourage every business owner, and it's a little difficult now with the environment that we're in, but there are opportunities. That's where you go to that neighborhood business development center to network with other businesses, even if they have, a Friday night Zoom call, where other people get to talk about their businesses. That can assist you. So reach out for any resources that, in fact, are available. And also, too, it gives you an opportunity to know your local community. And here are, just stay connected with Chicago.gov, BACP, Shy Small Biz, our Twitter, our YouTube channel. This presentation will be on our YouTube channel as well as numerous presentations. And Chicago BACP, our Facebook account. So there are a plethora of ways in which you can, in fact, stay connected. So I just thank you for being here, taking time out of your day to listen to this presentation. And so now we're going to move into a Q&A. And I just thank you, everyone. And I'm BJ Parker, a senior business consultant at the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection Small Business Center.
Great, thank you so much. And we did have a lot of questions come through, so we're going to go through them with our remaining time. First question is, my business isn't reflected on the 3-tiered licensing structure. Is there a more comprehensive list somewhere?
What's the business? And when you say a comprehensive list, you can actually go to the cityofchicago.gov/BACP, and you can look for license types, and there will be listed all of the license types.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next question is, my business was formed in Florida, but we are doing business in Chicago. Will that present a problem?
Well, when you form a business, when we call that a foreign organization in Delaware, Florida, Nevada, you will need to register that business with the Illinois Secretary of State. And because basically you are a guest doing business in Illinois, so you would need to register with Illinois Secretary of State.
How long does it take to acquire a business license?
So much depends on the type of activity. And the other, when you say how long does it take, for instance, if you're a retail store and you go online to apply for a shoe store, I guess I like shoes. But anyway, you apply for a shoe store. That can be a possible turnaround in maybe 2 or 3 days. Sometimes when we have a ton of people applying, it may be 5 days. For something like that's more specialized, like our massage licenses, tobacco licenses, liquor licenses, children's services licenses, daycare licenses, all of those take a while. What's a while? So if you walked in today and applied or went online and applied, and so much depends on how quickly you get through the zoning process. Because if you can get through zoning with one shot without going back and forth, you can possibly get a license, say everything excluding tobacco and liquor, maybe like 30 to 40 days. Because when we're doing the criminal history background checks, we send, even though you will go to an accurate biometric spot, we'll give you a sheet, you'll go there, they'll fingerprint you, then our criminal history analyst has to submit that information to the FBI. So we have gotten answers back as quickly as a week, and sometimes it can take up to 45 days. So much depends on the license type. Our food licenses are usually from date of payment, 10 to 14 days.
Great, thank you. And I noticed several people asking about what BJ mentioned about the solution station. So our partners are doing remote counseling since City Hall is closed to the public. SCORE Chicago, the Community Law Project, Acción, Women's Business Development Center, all of them are offering remote counseling. So if you go to their websites, I'll put the organization's names in the chat so you can look at them. But you go to the website, you find one-on-one counseling sessions, and you sign up with them. That's for your business planning, legal services, financial assistance. BJ, I know you already spoke about that, but several questions are coming in. And next question is, I have a business license I've had since September 2020. I've been waiting on an inspection. Can you tell me a guesstimation on inspection dates? Or are they doing inspections at all? And another person actually asked, are inspections free? So I know that's not your area of expertise. If you want to talk about that part of business licensing.
Okay, so here is the thing. When you say you paid for a license in September of 2020 and you're waiting for the inspection, so first of all, was it the 1st of September or the end of September? Second of all, have you scheduled the inspection? So all business licenses that require an inspection, the inspections are part of the licensing fee that you pay. The only reason that you would need to pay again for an inspection is because the inspectors came out and you were not ready. That's one thing. The second thing, when you state that, oh, they haven't come out to inspect, so I would encourage you to call GoBiz. What did the consultant or someone, did they email you and state, okay, when are you ready? Like, for instance, what's today, Friday? The other day, someone went online, applied. I actually went over their application and scheduled them for their on-site inspection. And the inspectors go out, and this was the date that the person stated that they wanted. And the inspectors go out, and they're not ready. So now the onus is on that business owner. They've got to go and schedule. They've got to try to track down the departments and say, okay, now I'm ready, or they'll have to, especially with the health department, they actually have to fill out a form for a reinspection. So often everybody wants everything, and I know everybody wants it to happen quickly, but make sure that when you schedule your inspection, you will schedule it through the business consultant, and you're ready for it. Because the inspector will call me and say, okay, I'll call the inspector and say, oh, this person hasn't been inspected. And they'll say, BJ, we went out there. They weren't ready. So they go on. They don't want, so their thing is, we don't want to keep going out there and the people think they're ready. The inspector will say, they'll give you things to correct or to add. And that's what you need to do. And then the inspector can go back out. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you. I am interested in opening a small cafe/retail space that sells food and liquor to purchase, such as bottles of wine, as well as serve alcohol and host small events, open mics, etc. What type of licensing will I need?
You will need a public place of amusement license, a consumption on premises license, and a retail food establishment license. You will also need, how you get started, you get in fact, you can contact zoning to make sure that you, in fact, can operate that type of business at the location that you desire. And then, if you can, you will need to provide a floor plan, which is the interior of the building, a site plan, which is the exterior of the building. If there's any kind of driveway, how are the people accessing the location, then you will need to apply for a driveway permit. So when you're opening up anything involving alcohol service, tobacco, children's services, it's sort of a detailed process. But in terms of the types of licenses that you will need public place of amusement, consumption on premises, that's the liquor license, and the retail food establishment. The other thing that I heard in the question, I guess you want to sell a small portion, I guess you want to sell wine, or that consumption on premises license will allow people to drink in your establishment, as well as you can sell a small portion of alcohol. So it depends too, which you will let the consultant know how much is the packaged goods the primary alcohol service, or is it you're serving the people to sit down and drink? Because if you're serving, if I come into your establishment, I order some food, order a glass of wine, and I say, oh, this is some pretty good wine. Do you have bottles for sale? Okay, that's one thing. That's an additional service that you're providing me because I'm sitting there in your restaurant. Or if you're saying, oh, no, I want a to-go portion of the business, then yes, you will need to talk to the consultant about how do you need a packaged goods license, liquor license, on top of the consumption on premises license. So that's why you would need to talk to our hospitality team to settle that nuance for you. But you definitely need a public place of amusement license, a liquor license, and a food license.
Great, thank you. And one quick announcement that this webinar is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Chicago BACP. We will not be distributing the presentation slides, but this entire webinar will be available to be viewed again on our YouTube channel. And BJ, we have a lot of questions coming in about home-based businesses. Do you need a license? Several people asking about specifics such as a medical supply company working from home or e-commerce businesses selling soaps from home? Can you talk a little bit more about home-based businesses?
Sure thing. Thank you for those questions. Okay, a home-based business, it's an opportunity for certain people who have an idea, hey, I can operate from my home. Okay, let's look at what can you do from your house. If you're a bookkeeper, yeah, you can do that. If you are doing any kind of writing, maybe you are a writer, or you're doing marketing or advertising or public relations. Yep, you can do that from your home. Okay, what things can I sell from my home? Okay, now we've got to delve into this a bit more. When you say e-commerce, what the zoning rep is going to ask you, okay, what are you selling? Oh, I'm selling soap. I'm selling T-shirts. I'm selling, you get where I'm going here. So the zoning rep will ask you, okay, where are you getting the T-shirts? Are you making the T-shirts? Is there a third party involved? So have you identified some third party company that I can go and put the BJ logo on the T-shirt, and then they will ship it out to your customers? That's one way. If you are making the soap at home, making the T-shirts at home, can't do that. Because now we're looking at, you're a manufacturer. If you're making clothes in your house. So that's what we really, and we're not talking about someone who may be a clothing designer, and I go to her and I said, I need a pair of pants. Okay, well, if I go, you're making me a pair of pants, that's one thing. But if you decide, you know what, I want to sell pants all over the city, well, you need a store for that. When you say you are selling soaps or making soaps from home, so often what happens, people need a retail space in order to do that. The premise behind a home occupation is, okay, it's an opportunity for you to explore a business idea, but it cannot interfere with the quality of life in a residential community. It's a home. That's the primary purpose. It's a home. It's not a retail establishment. So that's why the zoning representative is very clear. They want to know, well, okay, what's going on in the home? The other thing, when you are operating from your home, say if you have a home or if you have an apartment, if you have a home, it's 10% of the total square footage of the home, not to exceed 300 square feet. It's 15% of your apartment, not to exceed 300 square feet. So yeah, I've got a 2-bedroom apartment and I can set up my office in a spare bedroom, 100 square feet. Okay, if you come in and you tell me, well, I've got this huge basement at my house, I'm going to set up my units here. No, you can't do that. Everything has to be first, second, or third floor. It can't be a basement where you're not living. You may own the building, you got a basement. But are you residing there? Because sometimes people think, oh, well, I got a 3-flat and a basement. My uncle lives on the 3rd floor. My auntie lives on the 2nd floor. I live on the 1st floor. And I can just run the business from the basement. No, you can't. You don't live there. When we say home base, we mean that's where you lay your head at night and you go to sleep. That's why it's very restrictive. The other thing, e-commerce, if you want to sell those T-shirts, widgets, or whatever online, you can do that if you are not storing or making the stuff at your home. The other thing you can do from home are landscapers. Well, we know you're not going to, you're landscaping, so you're going out to cut grass here or snow removal there or whatever. But one thing the zoning rep will ask you, where are you storing all of those tools? Don't tell me you don't have tools. And you say, oh, I'm storing them in my basement or the garage. Nah, can't do that. We need to see that you have a storage lease where you're taking all of those tools and stuff, because your neighbors are the ones who call us and say, that landscaper or that e-commerce person, they have all of those tools all over the place, and they're having people come in and out of their house. So remember, when you're operating from home, you have a lot of latitude as well as restriction. The other thing that quite a few people do from their homes, and it's perfectly fine, they may be a pharmaceutical or medical rep. Maybe they're a sales rep, and maybe they're independent. Maybe they don't actually work for like a Baxter company, but they are an independent and they need a business license. Can they operate from their home? Absolutely, because they're going out to the different doctor offices. Consultants. So often the consultants, they're going, either they're doing things online or they may go, they did, and I'm sure they'll go again to the client site. That also happens with our special event people who are, you hire some, maybe you are in the business of planning special events for people. Again, we will ask, well, do you have any supplies? And you say, oh, no, I go over here to Dooley's and get, when it's time for the birthday party, and I get all of the supplies there. That's another thing that you can, in fact, do from your home. The other thing you can do from your home is a shared kitchen operator, because you cannot cook in your house. You will not be approved. However, you can apply for a shared kitchen operator. You'll use your home address, and you'll provide us with evidence that you are cooking at a shared kitchen. So we'll need to see the menu, the agreement with the shared kitchen, and you need a City of Chicago food service sanitation certificate, not ServSafe, not Food Safety, all of these other companies. No, we need a City of Chicago food service sanitation certificate. If you've gone to one of those companies like ServSafe, Food Safety Professionals, you can take that to Kennedy King College, pay $52, and file for what we call reciprocity. And that will be your City of Chicago Food Service Sanitation Certificate. It may take 4 to 6 weeks to actually get that certificate, but we will accept the receipt from Kennedy King. So those are some of the businesses that you can operate from your home. You cannot do a tobacco business. In terms of child care, we don't regulate home child care centers. That is done through the state. We only regulate those child care centers that are at a commercial location. So there are quite a few businesses that you can operate from your home. But remember, the key to things, you can't have people coming in and out of your home, because the primary purpose of that location is a resident. I hope I was able to answer the question.
And you briefly just touched on this, but what should you do if you see a business opening up that you think may not have the proper license or permit? Is there a place that you can call or, find out if they're operating illegally?
Okay, so that actually is through our department, because we regulate businesses. So we want to know if there are any bad businesses. So you would contact first you will need to contact 311, because that's what we will want to know. Is it registered through the 311? So you will call 311 and say, BJ is operating a shoe store. I must like shoes. BJ is operating a shoe store from her home. I think that's illegal. And you call 311. So it's registered. Then you call the Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. That's the other piece of our department, Consumer Protection. And you say, BJ is operating a shoe store. She got people coming in and out of her apartment selling those shoes. That's illegal. Plus, I know she don't have a license to do that. So you would contact our department and you would go through the GoBiz number and let them know you would like to register a consumer complaint.
Great. How can I check to make sure the location I'm seeking is the proper zoning for my business before I sign the lease?
So there are a couple of ways. Number one, you can actually go to a zoning map. If you don't know how to read the map, that may not be the route for you. Again, you can call GoBiz, let them know I need to touch bases with a zoning representative because I want to make sure that this location is suitable for my business. The other thing I didn't mention that I'm going to mention now, so that's a great question. If you think, okay, I want to open whatever kind of business, jewelry store, hair salon, cafe, whatever, and you haven't you've not signed a lease, look at a couple of locations. Look at 2 or 3. And then when you contact zoning, say, okay, I looked at this one at 1000 Main Street, 200 State Street, 300 Main Street. Give us maybe 3 locations, and we can look all of that up for you. So I just encourage you to do your due diligence. And don't settle on one location, because if there's something that is amiss with that location and, it's a problem location or something like that, you want to know, okay, I got another location that I did look at, and that could possibly work too. So that might be another option for you when you're looking at locations in different communities. And that's where those neighborhood development centers come in, because they may know of locations in the area. They may know, hey, you know what? Joe just moved out. He relocated to California, and he had a pet store. And it's open, or so walk around the community. You'll be surprised that of what what information you might find.
Do restaurants have to run background checks on everyone employed, including the owner and management?
With a restaurant, if there's alcohol service involved, then it's the owners and the managers will have to go through a background check. If it's a restaurant without alcohol service, no. But they do have to have the city of someone, either the chef or someone need to have that City of Chicago food service sanitation certificate.
What should I do if my LLC is expired?
Well, you will contact the Illinois Secretary of State to get it reinstated. So that's cyberdriveillinois.gov or .com. Yeah, the Illinois Secretary of State for LLC or corporation reinstatement.
If I build a business building and rent it to retailers, do I need a license or just the retailers?
Well, first of all, I hope if you're building a building, you've gotten all of the construction permits, and it sounds as though you're a landlord. So if you're a landlord, well, no, you don't need a business license. However, if you have an office in that building and you're providing some type of service other than just strictly a landlord, then yes, you would need a business license. So the other thing, I'm glad this question came in, the other thing that has happened with what we're seeing, there are companies that have a location and they may want to rent out the location to beauty businesses, to salons. It may, one suite will be BJ's hair salon. The next suite will be BJ's massage establishment. And so you get where I'm going. So I think since you're building this building or you have buildings under construction, what type of businesses are you looking to hopefully come into the location? Because one of the things you may want to look at, will they have to go through any kind of zoning variance, special use? So at least if you know going in, OSHA, they're going, in order to operate a beauty salon here, they've got to go through special use. Are they willing to do that and pay you the rent that you want? They may think it's cost prohibitive. I don't know. So that's one of the things you may want if you are this landlord, or what kind of business, or will it be strictly consultant offices or bookkeeping offices or accounting firms? So if you're going to have any of your prospective tenants to operate any kind of, especially personal services, that is something you really want to look into. Are there any type of zoning restrictions for those types of businesses at this location where you're building?
And we're going to end with a couple questions about mobile licensing. A question is, what type of license would mobile massage therapists need? And what type of license would a food truck need?
We currently do not offer a license for mobile massage establishment. Stay tuned. That may be something in the future. I don't think so. And a lot because that's one of those licenses, background check, as well as there are other requirements in terms of the building requirements, building department requirements. So right now, we are not licensing massage establishments. A food truck, number one, it has to be a food truck. It cannot be a trailer. It has to be a food truck. We offer, under food trucks, we have a couple. We have the mobile food dispenser and we have the mobile food preparer. We also have an ice cream truck. We also have the mobile cart. Mobile food dispenser. That's where I, as a consumer, walk up to your truck and you're selling, I look at your menu and you're selling hamburgers and hot dogs. Okay, and I say, I want a hamburger. And you give me a hamburger already packaged. You cannot put anything on the hamburger. You can have maybe a container with the little packets of if I want mustard or relish or what. You can't touch the food other than you're dispensing it. That's one license. That's $700 for a 2-year license. The other license is the mobile food preparer. I walk up to the window. I see all of the offerings that you have, and I say, I want a hamburger. And then you say, okay, what do you want on it? And I say, I want some pickles, I want the relish, I want, hey, can you put an egg on it for me? Or, so that's a preparer. That person can prepare the food for you. That license is $1,000 a year. Every 2 years, I'm sorry. In both of those instances, as well as we have a mobile cart. A cart is similar to a dispenser. It's not a truck. It's just a cart. Again, you can dispense wrapped food from the cart. That mobile cart is $100 for 2 years. In those three instances, and the ice cream truck really fall under the preparer. In those instances, all of those customers will need a shared kitchen license. Why? The mobile food dispenser and that mobile cart, we want to know where you getting the food, where you storing the food, where you cleaning the cart, where you cleaning the truck, where you parking the truck at night, where you parking that cart. So there are a host of things that we need to know. Your mobile food preparer, same thing, but a bit more. What kind of, and you will need to go through our fire safety class because we need to know, well, what kind of, is this gas, is it electric, hood, where are you parking? Where are you dumping, grease water? All of that we will need to know. It's a pretty involved process, but we are proud to say that we have licensed numerous trucks throughout the city of Chicago. We have a really good program, and we have some excellent vendors out on the street selling their delicious food. So I hope if that's something that you're looking into, that you'll certainly contact us. And again, you need to have that City of Chicago Food Service Sanitation Certificate. And you will need the Shared Kitchen User License if you are getting the truck license. What we will do, even though the trucks are the trucks are 700, then 1,000, and the cart is 100, and you will need the shared kitchen license as well. We waive the fee of the shared kitchen license, because we know you're getting the truck, you need that too. So we try to make it as palatable as possible in securing that mobile license. And I hope I answered the question. And I think that's it, right, Elisa?
That is the answer. What? Sorry, I'm going to mute you for 1 second, BJ, while we wrap up.
Okay.
We do have some people asking once again about this recording. I posted it in the chat. It will be available at youtube.com/Chicago BACP. If we didn't get to your questions, you could call 312-74-GO-BIZ, and that information is on the chat and also on the current slide. And any information that BJ also covered is on our website, which is chicago.gov/BACP. And with that, BJ, I'll let you wrap it up.
So I just want to say to all of you that have taken the time out of your day to come out and listen to our presentation, we are here to help businesses. That's what we do every single day. We want to help you navigate this, and also we want to help make your dreams come true. So often I've heard phenomenal stories of people over the years about, this has been my dream to operate this kind of business. Well, we want to be the facilitator of those entrepreneurial dreams. So it is my hope that you continue along the path. Don't give up. It may seem daunting, maybe, oh my gosh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. It'll be well worth it. So again, I hope everyone stays safe, and thank you again for attending our webinar today.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.